Big up and warm welcome back to B.M.G.T. I'm your host, Billy2109. Unfortunately, I was hoping to have a guest today, which was going to be Corey Boy back on the channel. But unfortunately, things happen and he's not unable to be here. But I'm happy to have him back on the channel and we're going to start making shows together. And we're going to be having bouncing sessions from each other. So please tune in and you'll get to see all of the banter and the talk about different shows. Now, with that to one side, the second thing I was going to say is, wow, what a weekend. That trailer just dropped on Saturday night. And my thoughts and reactions are the new Spider-Man trailer is, I'm liking the way that they are uniting Daredevil, Born Again, which is why I say the franchise Born Again in the title of this channel, of this show. And I like the connection that it's got with Spider-Man. Now, already we've seen trailers of The Punisher, so we knew he was in there. And he looks like he's going to be the guardian of Sadie Sink's character, which looks like a portrayal of Jean Grey. It might not be Jean Grey, but that's what the general consensus is at the moment. Now, please put your thoughts in the channel. Who do you think she might be, Sadie Sink, if she isn't Jean Grey? Because, like I say, things could happen. She might not be what you expect her to be. But the jail scene with the hand and Spider-Man and the way that he turns, that's towards the end of it. We will talk about that. But the man spider element I'm liking, and the control of it, and the way that they're bringing in Mark Ruffalo's Hulk and how he loses control of his character. Because in the last few Marvel movies, we've seen how both him and the Hulk have both he's learned to control the Hulk's anger. But this Spider-Man trailer seems to have it that he's got an inhibitor on his arm, which stops the Hulk from transforming out. Now, the thoughts are, if you have a prohibitor, that could be basically disrupted, and then that would make him lose control, which is what I think we see in the trailer. But maybe that could be different. But looking at the trailer itself, you could see that they're going to throw a lot of enemies in there. Maybe Scorpion isn't the main antagonist in this movie. Maybe, like I said before in an earlier video, please watch the earlier videos that we did, that this could be Mr. Negative. And with the hand as well, it's got already connotations to the last series of Daredevil on Netflix and the Defenders series. Now, we've already seen Luke Cage come into the last episode of Daredevil Born Again. And they've built on the story of Jessica Jones and them having a family together. And it leaves the question of where they're going to take it next. Like I say, Frank Castle's going to be in this new Spider-Man movie. And if you watch the Punisher one episode, it actually explains his storyline from where he was in Daredevil, the end of that series one, and what he was doing in that time period and how he became the vigilante that he was. Which is why I like these one-off specials. Because this year, I could see Marvel have put a lot of hard work into what they're trying to distribute. Last year, it was stockpiled, so a lot of the content was rushed, and so the stories weren't there. But this year, so far, I have to say I'm impressed. I like the way that Wonder Man was shot. It wasn't for everyone. It wasn't action-packed, but it was more a coming of age and more of a relationship between Simon and Trevor Slattery and their brotherhood and connection and how they became actors and how he got confidence from him. And then, so you've had that, and now you've had them building on Daredevil and Matt exposing himself in the courtroom scene. And I do like Jessica Jones' reaction in that. And now you've got Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out, as well as we've had trailers for the different versions of X-Men coming out as well. So I believe the consensus is that X-Men is going to be exposed in these movies. So I think it is going to be Jean Grey and J.D. Sing's character. But like I said, who would you have her be? There's loads of Spider-Man characters. As you can probably see, I'm wearing my Scarlet Spider hoodie, but there's many characters in Spider-Man that I would love to see portrayed on the big screen, like a Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, like a version of Carnage, but a proper version of Carnage. I know Woody Harrelson played it in the Sony versions, but I'd like to see. For me, he's too comical as an actor. You need to have someone who's proper psychotic and has that edge. Because that was the best of Cletus Cassidy in the comics and in the cartoon. I would love to see a portrayal of Kraven the Hunter, a proper one. I know we've had the Sony one, but a proper one where he's like Sergei Kravinoff, yeah. You know, like, do you know what? I'm going to say it now, yeah, because this is Spider-Man. My favorite portrayal of Spider-Man is 94's. And the reason I like 94 is because they did an in-depth of each of the villains and their storyline, and then they built off it through each episode. And the story with Kravinoff and the Calypso was one of the best ones. And I feel they should have built on that. And it's the same with the Kingpin, to be fair. That would have been the storyline I would have used for Vincent D'Onorio's version of the Kingpin, where sacrifices must be made. Because that's the darkness of the Kingpin. And for this Spider-Man movie, yeah, we're gonna have the man-spider element of it, where he's lost control of it and of his abilities, and the mutant side of him's coming out. So we might even get to see the 8 arms that we got to see in the cartoon. I don't think we're gonna get to see Man-Spider, but you could see that version of him coming out. And instead of having Kirk Connors having that role of the scientist telling him that he's mutating, you're gonna have essentially Bruce Banner doing it. So you're ad-libbing again, and for me, that it's not comic accurate, because Kirk Connors also played the Lizard as well as the relative professor and Peter's mentor. So little bits and its and out. But then, how does this lead into the new Avengers movie at the end of the year? That's going to be the question that I have from my mouth towards the end of this. It's how does this lead into the next Doomsday movie? Because Doomsday at Christmas time is going to be the big hit. And we've been heard that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is not in it. But I got a feeling that we're going to see some portrayals of Spider-Man in it. Will we see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in it? Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man, which I personally would make him the Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse. The one where he's lost his love interest and he's turned to alcohol. But he's still a mentor and he's still finding himself, and then have a Miles Morales come in after him. That's how I would have built on the version of Andrew Garfield. Because in the last movie, he just lost MJ. So please put the comments in the chat. I want to know what you're thinking about the next Spider-Man movie, because I like the look of this trailer. Scorpion was played by the actor who done the first movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. So we're gonna finally get to see him in the exoskeleton suit of the Scorpion. Will they make that storyline the storyline that we got to see in Spider-Man 95? Because that's one of the best ones as well, where Jonah Jameson paid for his mutation, paid for him to be tested by the Neogenic Recombinator. You see them bad words there? Neogenic Recombinator. Yeah, that's one that come out of my head. You know them ones there? All right. And I want to see how they changed Matt Gargan's DNA, and mix it with that of a Scorpion using the Recombinator. So, really and truly, what are your thoughts on the next Spider-Man on the latest Spider-Man movie? What are you looking forward to the most when you see the next Spider-Man? What are you expecting in the next movie? please put your thoughts in the chat. And unfortunately, we're not going to make this a long show today. But hopefully, people in the chat understand that we're just talking about the trailer right now. Once the movies drop, we're going to talk about it in detail. Like we did with the Master of the Universe one, which I think it didn't come out too well. Hopefully, Pete, who was so spectacular for coming on, will come on again and we can talk about it again. But as far as this episode is done, thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on B.M.G.T. Out. Stream div. Man.